Clusterstone is so easy. All you need is your panels, your Clusterstone adhesive, your mixing drill, your water, and a bin to mix in, and a few single stones to fill in with at the end.
This is how Clusterstone is put together. Each piece interlocks into the next. The key to installing the panels is to make sure you don't have long vertical lines running from top to bottom. To prevent this, cover the vertical line with a panel on alternate rows. The panel will fit together in a few different ways, but if they are not installed correctly, you will end up with long vertical joint lines. The actual horizontal lines will be broken up automatically when you put the panels together. Unlike other stone cladding panels, the advantage of Clusterstone is that when installed correctly, you do not see long vertical or horizontal joint lines. Here I will demonstrate the incorrect way to install the panel. I have positioned the panel directly on top of the next, and what you're left with is long vertical lines, giving the game away that you have used panels. It's very important to break up the vertical lines, and it's just a matter of putting the panels across the line, breaking your bond, like so. Broken here, broken here.
Before I start, I like to use a batten as a guide. Today we're applying the Clusterstone panel to a breeze block wall. As you can see, there's a horizontal line here which we use as a guide. If we were on a different surface, we would put a horizontal line in with a chalk line or a pencil. Each bag of Clusterstone adhesive will cover 1 square metre of Clusterstone cladding.
Mixing instructions are pretty easy. All you need is 3.5 to 4 litres of water, depending on weather temperatures, to every bag of Clusterstone adhesive. When applying the adhesive, ensure you cover the entire panel with a minimum of 1 centimetre, ensuring you cover the outer rim of the panel. When the panel is installed, the adhesive will squeeze out, effectively sealing the panel. Once the adhesive is on, press the panel against the wall using even pressure while gently rocking it into place. Hold for several seconds until the adhesive adheres. ensure the frost can't get behind the panel, butter the adhesive around the edges where the next panel will be placed. This will also bond each panel to the next, adding strength to the entire system. Make sure the panel is level on the wall before joining the next one. If a panel moves out of position when you let it go, you can tap it back into place with your hand or a rubber mallet. Whenever there is room to install a panel close to the batten, do so. Otherwise, you can wait until you take off the batten and fill the gaps with full panels, cut panels or single stones. Some of the panels are heavier than others, and depending on the moisture in the wall, the panels on the end row may sometimes move. As a precautionary measure, I advise propping the panels up with a piece of wood or some single stones. The adhesive should be dry in approximately 10 to 20 minutes, and then you can remove the props. Corners pose no problem for Clusterstone. For external corners, Clusterstone provides L-shaped pieces that interlock with the Clusterstone panels. As you can see here, the corners and panels are positioned first, making sure they fit together before applying the adhesive. The same rule applies here to prevent the frost from getting in. Butter the adhesive around the edges of the cornerstones where the next panel will be placed. On internal corners, the panels fit together pretty easy. Again, always check the position of the fit before applying the adhesive. There are no actual corner pieces for internal corners. It is a matter of using full panels, cut panels, single stones and joining them together.
As you can see, with Clusterstone, the wall is finished in no time. Just like ordinary tiling, you will always see some small spaces and some awkward gaps. At the end, you fill the gaps with single stones or cut down panels. While the panels come pre-formed, they can be cut to any size.
When cutting, always place the design side of the panel facing the ground. This will keep the panel free from dust and make it a lot easier to cut. When the bottom row of the panels have been adhered to the surface for approximately 30 minutes, you can take off the batten and fill in the gaps. Excess adhesive can be removed using a common masonry nail or something similar. How fast the excess adhesive dries depends mostly on the weather. Always leave a sensible window of time for removing excess adhesive. Too soon and it will mark the stone, but if you leave it too long, it will go off completely. Finally, we brush the surface with a coarse, bristled brush. This takes off the loose adhesive and cleans around the edges of the stone. For a professional finish, we always recommend applying Clusterstone Sealer as the final step. Please contact your local dealer or Lightstone Ireland for further information and instructions.